First Contact Protocol. Commander Diana Walsh was finishing her third cup of coffee when the massive crystalline ships appeared in Earth's orbit. As head of the Interstellar Relations Bureau's First Contact Division, she'd expected her Tuesday to involve more paperwork and less potential apocalypse. The ships, elegant, translucent structures that seemed to be made of living crystal, hung in the sky like suspended icicles. "Ma'am," her assistant Thomas called from the doorway, "the Galactic Concordat's ambassador is requesting an immediate audience." "They're quite insistent." Diana glanced at her schedule tablet. "Do they have an appointment?" "They're threatening to reduce Earth to cosmic dust." "So that's a no on the appointment then." She sighed, straightening her uniform jacket. "Tell them they can have my 2:30 slot. That's when I usually do my crossword puzzle anyway." The alien delegation materialized in her office at exactly 2:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Their leader, a towering figure with crystalline skin and geometric patterns swirling beneath their surface, introduced themselves as High Commander Zenith of the Concordat's Enforcement Division. "Commander Walsh," Zenith's voice resonated like wind through crystal chimes, "your species has become an unprecedented nuisance to galactic order." Diana offered them a seat and some coffee. The alien commander ignored both. "How so?" she asked, taking a sip from her fourth cup of the day. "Your vessels traverse restricted spaces without permits. Your entertainment broadcasts disrupt sensitive communication arrays. Your colonists establish outposts without proper documentation. And worst of all," Zenith's crystalline form flickered with indignation, "your species refuses to acknowledge the authority of the Galactic Concordat. Have you tried submitting a complaint through our online portal?" Diana asked, pulling up her tablet. "We recently upgraded the system. It's quite user-friendly now. This is not a matter for your bureaucratic processes." Zenith's voice shattered a nearby water glass. "The Concordat has unanimously voted to declare war on Earth and all human territories." Diana nodded thoughtfully, making a note on her tablet. "I see. And did you file the proper paperwork for this declaration?" "Form GC 1138, intent to declare interspecies conflict?" "It needs to be submitted in triplicate, with notarized translations in at least 12 major Earth languages." Zenith's crystalline form began to vibrate with barely contained fury. "We do not need your permission to declare war. Actually, according to Earth's Interstellar Relations Code, Section 7, Paragraph 3, all declarations of hostile intent must be properly documented and processed through appropriate channels before being considered valid. I can email you the relevant forms if you'd like." The alien commander slammed a crystalline appendage on her desk, leaving a slight crack. Diana made another note: "Submit maintenance request for desk repair. Your armies will be crushed. Your cities will fall. Your civilization will be brought to its knees." "Just to confirm," Diana said, typing on her tablet, "you're requesting a permit for large-scale military operations within Earth's solar system? Those applications typically take 6 to 8 weeks to process. Though we do offer an expedited service for an additional fee." Zenith's geometric patterns swirled chaotically. "This is not a request. Our armada will arrive within your solar system in exactly 48 Earth hours." Diana checked her calendar again. "That's going to be a problem. We have a major cricket tournament that weekend, and the orbital space around Earth is already reserved for broadcasting satellites. I can pencil you in for next month though." The alien commander stared at her in absolute bewilderment, their crystalline form clouding with confusion. Without another word, they vanished from her office. Diana turned to Thomas, who had been quietly taking notes in the corner. "Better alert traffic control about the incoming ships. And send a memo to all departments about possible alien invasion-related delays. Oh, and can you get someone to fix this desk? The crack is ruining my ergonomic setup." As she returned to her crossword puzzle, Diana couldn't help but smile. The aliens would learn, just as all others had before them, humanity's greatest weapon wasn't their technology or their military might. It was their absolutely unshakable ability to treat any cosmic crisis as just another day at the office. In orbit, the crystalline ships hung motionless, their commanders probably struggling to understand how their dramatic declaration of war had somehow turned into a scheduling conflict. Meanwhile, Earth continued spinning, its inhabitants going about their daily lives, treating the threat of alien invasion with all the concern of a slightly delayed train service. Business as usual. Marcus Bennett had been hauling cargo between Earth and Mars for 15 years, and he'd developed certain routines. Every morning, he'd check his ship's systems, review his delivery manifests, and ignore any alien blockades that happened to be in his flight path. Today was no different. "Attention human vessel," a stern voice crackled through his comm system as he approached the massive wall of crystalline warships between Earth and Mars. "This is Admiral Vertex of the Galactic Concordat. Turn back immediately or face destruction." Marcus glanced at his coffee mug, noticed it was empty, and pressed the auto-brew button for a refill. "Hey Janet, can you handle that while I check these manifests?" "Of course, Captain," his ship's AI responded cheerfully. "Running Standard Protocol 47, dealing with unnecessarily dramatic space traffic. The cargo ship's automated response system activated. Thank you for contacting Bennett Interplanetary Shipping. Your threat is important to us. Please select from the following options: press 1 for permission to surrender, press 2 for battlefield appointment scheduling, press 3 for our current delivery promotions." The alien admiral's voice cut through again, more agitated. "This is not a communication protocol. This is a military blockade." "I see you're interested in impeding commercial shipping lanes," Janet responded pleasantly. "Please note that according to Section 12 of the Free Space Commerce Act, you'll need to file an official obstruction permit with the Department of Interplanetary Transportation. Current processing time is approximately 3 to 5 business months. Would you like me to send you the required forms?" Marcus finished checking his manifests and grabbed his fresh coffee. Through the viewport, he could see several alien ships moving to surround his vessel. Their crystalline surfaces sparkled beautifully in the sunlight, and he made a mental note to take a few photos for his sister's kindergarten class's space appreciation project. "Your primitive vessel is now surrounded," Admiral Vertex announced triumphantly. "Prepare to be boarded." "Janet, what's our delivery schedule looking like?" Marcus asked, pulling up his favorite playlist. "We have 16 crates of premium coffee beans for the Olympus Mons Barista College, 20 cases of vintage Earth movies for the Mars Historical Society, and an emergency shipment of sourdough starter for the Valles Marineris Authentic Earth Bread Company. Can't keep those coffee students waiting. Initiate standard evasion pattern Delta. Initiating, sorry, can't stop, running late for work, protocol," Janet confirmed. Marcus's ship, the Reliable Delivery, suddenly executed a series of completely predictable yet somehow impossible to intercept maneuvers. It weaved through the alien blockade with all the urgency of a courier running 5 minutes behind schedule, somehow slipping through gaps that didn't appear to exist moments before. How are you doing this?" the alien admiral demanded, his crystalline ships scrambling to keep up with the cargo vessel's casual trajectory. "Trade secret," Marcus replied, taking another sip of coffee. "Speaking of trade, would you be interested in our new customer loyalty program? Sign up now and get 10% off your next shipment to any solar system within 50 light-years." The alien vessels attempted to form a tighter blockade, their weapons charging with ominous purple energy. Marcus simply adjusted his route slightly, treating the deadly energy beams like minor traffic obstacles. "Janet, remind me to file an incident report about these ships. They're not displaying proper commercial zone warning lights. That's definitely a safety violation." "Already documented, Captain. I've also taken the liberty of sending them our comprehensive guide to space lane etiquette and a coupon for a free safety consultation." As they cleared the blockade, Marcus noticed his coffee was getting low again. "Oh, and Janet? Send them our catalog. Anyone trying this hard to get our attention must be interested in our services." Behind them, Admiral Vertex watched in stunned silence as the small cargo ship casually disappeared into Mars's orbit. On his command screen, a new message popped up: "Thank you for your interest in Bennett Interplanetary Shipping. As a first-time potential customer, please enjoy this promotional video about our award-winning delivery services." The message was followed by an invoice for blocking commercial shipping lanes without proper permits, 3 separate safety violation citations, and a system-wide review rating request. In the Reliable Deliveries cabin, Marcus finished his coffee and pulled up his next delivery schedule. "Looks like we've got a shipment of rubber ducks for Jupiter's Europa Water Park after this. Think those alien ships will still be around? They'd make great backdrop for the tourist photos. According to their energy signatures, they appear to be having some sort of collective existential crisis," Janet reported. "Should I add them to our holiday card list?" "Might as well," Marcus shrugged, setting course for the Mars landing zone. "Anyone that interested in our business operations is practically family." As the Reliable Delivery began its landing sequence, dozens of other human ships continued their normal routes through the blockade, each treating the massive alien armada like an interesting new addition to their regular commute. Some even started leaving reviews: "Great light show, but they really need to work on their customer service. 3 stars. The casual defense." Dr. Priya Patel was having a perfectly normal day in her lab at the Global Defense Research Institute, right up until her quantum computer started mining cryptocurrency. She traced the hack back to the alien fleet currently menacing Earth's orbit. "Interesting approach," she muttered, adjusting her glasses while reviewing the attack patterns. "But their encryption is about as sophisticated as a student's first coding project." She took a sip of her chai and opened a new research document titled "Alien Cyber Warfare: A Beginner's Guide to What Not to Do." Her assistant Oliver poked his head into the lab. "Dr. Patel, the Joint Chiefs are on line 1. Something about the aliens threatening to disable all of Earth's defense systems?" "Tell them I'm in the middle of a peer review," she replied, not looking up from her screens. "Also, can you order lunch?" "The usual place." "Oh, and better make it delivery. Apparently, there's some kind of invasion going on outside." The alien cyber attack intensified, attempting to breach Earth's military networks. Dr. Patel responded by updating her firewall settings and sending an automated email to the alien fleet about extending their system's warranty. "Doctor," Oliver called again, "the aliens are demanding access to our nuclear launch codes." "Did they submit a proper research proposal?" Priya asked, still typing. "All requests for potentially civilization-ending data need to go through the ethics committee first. Current review period is 6 to 8 weeks, assuming they have all their paperwork in order." Her computer chimed with another alien transmission. This one was attempting to upload a virus into Earth's satellite network. Priya sighed and opened a response window. "Dear attempted cyber attackers," she dictated as she typed, "thank you for your interest in Earth's defense systems. We notice you're using an outdated version of your invasion software. Would you like to schedule a consultation with our IT department? We're currently offering a special on system upgrades and security assessments. P.S. Your recent cryptocurrency mining attempt has been flagged as spam by our filters. Please verify you're not a robot by completing the attached CAPTCHA." The alien response came quickly, their message filled with threats of technological apocalypse. Priya forwarded it to her spam folder. "Oliver," she called, "can you add update alien threat detection algorithm to next week's to-do list? Right after submit expense report but before prevent digital Armageddon." Her quantum computer screen suddenly filled with an alien face, crystalline, geometric, and currently a shade of furious purple. "Dr. Patel," the alien commander spoke, their voice crackling with digital distortion, "you cannot ignore our technological supremacy. Actually, Priya replied, pulling up her calendar app. I can. I have tenure. She checked her schedule. But I could pencil in a discussion about your technological supremacy next Thursday. It would make an interesting case study for my Common Mistakes in Interstellar Warfare lecture series. The alien commander's crystalline features rearranged themselves in what might have been confusion. This is not an academic exercise. We have already begun dismantling your primitive defense networks. Oh, that reminds me, Priya said, clicking through some notifications. You should be receiving an automated copyright strike for unauthorized access attempts. Our defense algorithms are protected intellectual property. You'll need to fill out a licensing agreement before trying to dismantle them. She glanced at another screen showing the alien fleet's ongoing attempts to breach Earth's firewalls. Their ships were unknowingly downloading what they thought were Earth's defense codes, but were actually just cat videos and sourdough bread recipes. Also, she added, your latest attack just subscribed your entire fleet to our institute's monthly newsletter. Congratulations. You'll be receiving updates about our latest research papers, faculty lunch menus, and parking policy changes. The alien commander's face flickered with rage. We will reduce your networks to digital ash. Interesting hypothesis, Priya replied, opening a new document. Would you mind if I cited this conversation in my upcoming paper on ineffective threats in cyber warfare? I'll need you to sign a consent form for quotation rights. Just then, Oliver returned with lunch. Your butter chicken is here, Doctor. Also, the aliens are trying to hack the coffee machines in the break room. Again? Priya sighed, pulling up another window of code. Better send them the standard response, error 404, coffee machine not found. Please try invading again later. She turned back to the alien commander's increasingly frustrated face on her screen. Now, about that consent form. The alien transmission cut off abruptly, but not before their systems accidentally downloaded the entire archive of cat videos from Earth servers. Priya made a note in her research log, Day 3 of alien cyber invasion attempt, enemy fleet now appears to be primarily occupied with watching kitten compilations. Productivity impact, minimal. Recommend scheduling follow-up study on the effectiveness of cute animal videos as cyber defense mechanism. She finished her lunch, submitted 3 research papers, and casually thwarted 17 more alien hacking attempts, filing each one away as a teaching example for next semester's Introduction to Interplanetary Cybersecurity course. By the end of the day, the alien fleet had inadvertently signed up for 16 different email newsletters, downloaded several terabytes of sourdough starter maintenance guides, and somehow enrolled in the Institute's online learning platform. Oliver, Priya called as she packed up for the day, please send a welcome packet to our new distance learning students. And maybe add a note about our plagiarism policy. I noticed they're trying to copy our defense algorithms without proper citation. Diplomatic confusion. UN Ambassador Jackson Reeves was in the middle of solving a Sudoku puzzle when the Galactic Concordat's diplomatic delegation materialized in his office. He held up one finger in the universal, just a minute gesture, filled in the last number, and only then looked up at the crystalline beings hovering menacingly over his desk. Ah, the invasion force representatives, he said, checking his watch. You're early. T. Supreme Negotiator Crystal Shard 79, who had spent 3 galactic standard cycles preparing for this confrontation, watched in bewilderment as Reeves calmly poured 2 cups of Earl Grey. Ambassador Reeves, the alien's voice chimed like breaking glass, we are here to discuss the terms of Earth's surrender. Fascinating, Reeves replied, adding milk to his tea. Have you filled out Form UN 7B, Application for Planetary Surrender Negotiations? We'll need it in triplicate, with stamps from at least 3 neutral planetary systems. We do not need your bureaucratic permission to conquer your world. Actually, Reeves pulled out a massive binder labeled Interstellar Diplomatic Protocols, Volume 1 of 47, according to Subsection 12, Paragraph 9 of the Universal Declaration of Planetary Rights, all conquest attempts must follow proper diplomatic channels. Would you like to schedule an appointment with our invasion processing department? Crystal Shard 79's geometric patterns swirled in frustration. Our armada surrounds your planet. Our weapons are primed. Our warriors await the signal. Yes, very impressive, Reeves nodded, making a note in his calendar. But you've parked your fleet in a designated civilian shipping lane. I'm afraid you'll need to fill out a space traffic deviation request. The fine for unauthorized parking is quite steep, should warn you. The alien negotiator produced a holographic display of Earth surrounded by their warships. Perhaps you don't understand the gravity of your situation. One word from me, Anne. Oh, speaking of gravity, Reeves interrupted, your ship's mass is affecting our satellite trajectories. Environmental impact assessment forms will need to be submitted to the appropriate committee. Shall I have my assistant send you the paperwork? At that moment, Reeves' assistant Patricia entered with a stack of forms. Sir, the aliens' conquest attempt has been flagged by the Department of Administrative Affairs. They didn't pre-register for the mandatory Introduction to Earth Invasion Procedures workshop. Ah, yes, Reeves sighed, shaking his head. I'm afraid we'll have to put this whole surrender business on hold until you complete the course. Next session starts in 3 months, assuming there's still space available. Crystal Shard 79's surface began to crack with stress fractures. This is absurd. We are the most powerful military force in the galaxy. Quite, Reeves agreed, checking his email. Though I notice your Galactic Military Force registration certificate expired last week. You'll need to renew that before we can process any official acts of war. The alien negotiator slammed a crystalline appendage on Reeves' desk, causing his tea to splash slightly. We will not be bound by your ridiculous regulations. I'll need to file an incident report for that desk assault, Reeves noted calmly, dabbing his tie with a handkerchief. Patricia, please add property damage during unauthorized diplomatic outburst to the violation list. Patricia nodded, typing on her tablet. Should I also mention their failure to follow the proper dress code for formal surrender negotiations? The crystal motif isn't listed in our approved diplomatic attire guidelines. The alien delegation stared in stunned silence as Patricia handed them a thick booklet titled Earth Diplomatic Dress Code and Etiquette Guidelines, Updated Edition. Now then, Reeves continued, pulling out his scheduling calendar, the soonest available slot for a preliminary surrender discussion would be, let's see, 3 Thursdays from now. Though you'll need to complete the mandatory conflict resolution workshop first. We have an excellent meditation session that's particularly popular with invading forces. Crystal Shard 79's geometric patterns had begun to spiral into chaos. But we already announced the war. Our Supreme Council voted. Ah, Reeves raised an eyebrow, did you submit the required Notice of Intent to Vote on Warfare to the Committee on Interstellar Democratic Processes? That's Form UN 159-C, subsection 7, paragraph 4. The alien negotiator's crystalline form began to vibrate at an alarming frequency. Without another word, they vanished, leaving behind only a slight scorch mark on the carpet. Patricia, Reeves called, finishing his tea, please send them a bill for the carpet cleaning. And add them to our holiday card list, they seem like they could use some cheering up. He returned to his Sudoku puzzle as Patricia began preparing the standard "Thank you for your interest in invading Earth" response package, complete with a complimentary stress ball and a copy of Bureaucracy for Beginners, a guide for aspiring conquerors. Somewhere in orbit, Crystal Shard 79 was attempting to explain to their superiors how their unstoppable invasion force had been effectively halted by paperwork. Meanwhile, Earth's diplomatic corps continued their day, filing the entire incident under routine alien interactions and potential cultural exchange opportunities. The human factor. Fleet Admiral Sofia Rodriguez was enjoying her morning crossword puzzle when the alien armada launched what they probably thought was a surprise attack. She glanced up at the massive holographic display showing thousands of crystalline warships advancing toward Earth's defense fleet, then returned to her puzzle. 7 across. Celestial body, often invaded on Tuesdays, she muttered. Earth, obviously. They're getting predictable with these clues. Her second-in-command, Captain Howard Lynn, rushed onto the bridge of the flagship Reasonable Discussion. Admiral. The Concordat fleet is charging their primary weapons. Have they submitted their training exercise notification forms? Rodriguez asked, not looking up from her crossword. This isn't a training exercise, ma'am. It's an actual invasion. Ah. She filled in another answer. In that case, initiate Standard Response Protocol 47B, sorry, we're closed for maintenance. Throughout Earth's defense fleet, ships began broadcasting automated messages, we apologize, but Earth's military forces are currently undergoing scheduled system updates. Please try invading again during our regular business hours. For immediate assistance, please contact our customer service department. The alien flagship, a massive crystalline structure that could probably crack planets in half, came to a confused halt. Their Supreme Commander's voice boomed across all frequencies, your primitive evasion tactics will not work. We have you surrounded. Rodriguez finally looked up from her puzzle. Captain Lynn, what's our lunch schedule looking like? The cafeteria is serving tacos today, ma'am. Excellent. Send the alien commander an invitation. It's rude to start an invasion before lunch. Before the alien commander could respond, their tactical display was flooded with meeting requests, calendar invitations, and a detailed menu of the day's specials. Several of their ship's systems automatically subscribed to Earth Fleet's monthly newsletter. This is not a social call, the alien commander thundered. We are here to demonstrate our superior military might. Oh, you needed a demonstration permit? Rodriguez pulled up a form on her tablet. That's a different department. Though I should warn you, the Interstellar Performance License Office is terribly backed up this time of year. Something about a surge in traveling circus applications. The alien fleet began to move into attack formation, their weapons charging with ominous purple energy. Rodriguez observed this while completing her crossword puzzle's famous last words section. Captain Lynn, please add unauthorized light show to their growing list of violations. And send them our brochure about energy-efficient weapons alternatives. We're trying to reduce our carbon footprint during invasions this year. The alien commander's voice crackled through again, you dare mock our military prowess? We have conquered 1,000 worlds. Did you keep the receipts? Rodriguez asked. Our accounting department will need proper documentation for any claimed conquests. It's tax season, you know. She watched as the alien fleet's formation began to show signs of confusion. Some ships were accidentally downloading Earth's Defense Force coffee break schedules, while others had somehow ended up in a virtual queue for next week's intergalactic bake sale. Admiral, Captain Lynn reported, they're attempting to breach our primary defense network. Are they using the guest Wi-Fi? Because that's been a bit spotty since the maintenance team installed that new coffee maker. The alien fleet's coordinated attack dissolved into chaos as their systems were flooded with automated responses, meeting invitations, and mandatory training seminar schedules. Several ships accidentally registered for the upcoming Sustainable Invasion Practices Workshop and Mindfulness for Military Commanders retreat. Rodriguez finally finished her crossword and looked up at the tactical display. Captain Lynn, please send them our standard "Thank you for participating in Earth's Defense Readiness Test" feedback form. And add a note about our monthly invasion practice sessions, third Thursday of every month, weather permitting. The alien commander's final transmission was barely coherent, but we're supposed to be unstoppable. The most feared military force in the galaxy. Oh, is that what this was about? Rodriguez raised an eyebrow. You should have said something. We have a support group for recovering galactic conquerors. Meets every Wednesday, snacks provided. Would you like me to add you to the mailing list? The massive alien fleet hung in space, their perfect formation now resembling a group of confused tourists who had taken a wrong turn at Mars. Some ships had already begun filling out the feedback forms, while others were apparently browsing Earth's gift shop catalog. Admiral, Captain Lin said, checking his tablet, several alien ships are requesting vacation day information, and one has applied for a parking permit. Rodriguez nodded approvingly. See? Much more civilized than all that conquest business. Send them our welcome packet and the new employee orientation schedule. She stood up, straightening her uniform. Now, I believe those tacos are waiting. Captain, would you mind sending a lunch invitation to our new friends? They look like they could use a break. And so ended the great invasion that wasn't, not with a bang, but with a potluck lunch meeting and several pending feedback surveys. The alien fleet gradually dispersed, their ships laden with employee handbooks, scheduling apps, and an inexplicable number of Earth Defense Force Fun Run 2025 t-shirts. As for Fleet Admiral Rodriguez, she simply added "Repel Alien Invasion" to her list of completed tasks for the day, right between "Complete Crossword Puzzle" and "Order New Office Supplies." After all, it was just another Tuesday in Earth's Defense Force, where the greatest weapon wasn't their technology or firepower, but their absolutely unshakable ability to treat any cosmic threat as just another item on their to-do list.